The most recent issue of Greg Pak's Darth Vader run of comics finally showed Vader reaching Exegol. The first arc seemed to be about connecting Vader with his past in the prequel trilogy, and it was very effective. This arc is more about connecting Vader with his near future and the sequel trilogy. He's been investigating Palpatine's plans while he fights for survival against Ochi of Bestoon and the Eye of the Webbish Bog. But he got a hold of his Sith Wayfinder on Mustafar and went off to find Exegol. But he ran into a massive space creature that stood in his way. Obviously, it's physically intimidating and dangerous, but it also had abilities in the Force, including mental attacks. Vader and Ochi seemingly both received premonitions of how they would die. We don't learn if Ochi saw his death on Pisana, but we do know what Vader saw. His visions drew parallels from his duel with Obi-Wan on Mustafar and his duel with Luke on Cloud City. But then things shift into events that the audience would recognize from Return of the Jedi. Luke beats Vader, stands over him with his lightsaber, and this time shows no mercy. He strikes Vader down and takes his father's place at the Emperor's side. It's pretty interesting what's happening here. The creature got into Vader's head, and then I think it combined a real future with Vader's fears. I do think the creature was able to look into the Force and see what might happen on the second Death Star, but it also sees that Vader fears his death at Luke's hand. He probably fears that he deserves to die, and it's not like he's wrong after all he's done. It's also possible that at this point in time, that is Vader's real future. Maybe so soon after the events of The Empire Strikes Back, Luke still would have killed Vader if he had the chance. Luke is currently on his own journey, finding out who Anakin truly was. I think there's plenty of change he has to go through himself before believing that his father can be saved. Either way, I don't think Vader believes that. He believes he deserves to die and fears it'll be Luke who does it, and he probably fears that right until he loses his hand on the second Death Star. But then Luke pulls back and throws his lightsaber away, changing the future that Vader was so certain would happen. Of course, we know that act of mercy and compassion is what pulls Anakin back to the light to save his son. That's nothing new. But I really love this development of having a vision of the future playing a part as well. Anakin fell to the dark side because he couldn't change a premonition he feared of Padme dying. Now he has this new fearful premonition, and he sees that, again, there was nothing he could do to change it. But Luke could. It adds even more to Vader's thought process in Return of the Jedi. You can kind of insert ideas and themes from this comic as he takes way too long deciding to save Luke from Palpatine. I think it's great. And we're not even done with this arc. The next issue's cover shows Vader on Exegol surrounded by red lightsabers. As much as I struggled with The Rise of Skywalker, I love seeing the original trilogy start to connect some of those dots. And Exegol was one of my favorite aspects of Episode 9, so I am sufficiently intrigued. Unfortunately, we have to wait until April to see what happens. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.